All right, here we are at the Real Raw role play where we are unlocking the reality that influence, with integrity, of course, is a superpower, and we unlock it here. This is an extraordinary day. This is the third day in a row I'm saying it's extraordinary, because with the Real Raw role play only a month old, it is absolutely inconceivable to me. The level of success, genius, diversity, and mastery that's showing up every single day. And I'm deeply honored for the crew we have today. With that said, Vivian, how art thou?
Oh my God, today is great. We have some legends on board.
We do. I want to also say that we have the Fernando Valencia, who's on fire. And Fernando, like when we talk about influence, brother, is you used to like chase influencers and talk about social media likes and followers. And quite honestly, you really upset Tony Robbins taking a selfie on a stage when you were my guest and I went to hide under a chair. So like that's who you were like 6 months ago. Who are you today?
Yeah, well, thank you for introducing me as who I was 6 months ago, Mr. Halligan. Who we are today is a true integrity-based influencer. And what does that mean? It means that it's not about the likes, it's not about the comments, it's not about the followers. It's about the ability to have other people see their future in you, where they're saying yes to making more money and less time with more magic, while ecosystem merging with Unblinded. Every single
Mike, you're here, Mike Krupin. We got you, brother. So I'm sorry, Fernando, 1 second.
Y'all got me?
Yeah, we're gonna introduce you. We're gonna introduce you with a drum roll in a second, Mike.
He's not on video. It's just
I can see you guys.
Okay, so how do we? Tiffany's gonna rectify that. So Fernando, one more sec, brother. So you were saying?
So what I'm saying is that 6 months ago, what mattered was growing your brand, your social media following, your interaction online, funnels, lead pages, taking photos with celebrities, AKA selfie on Tony Robbins' stage as Sean's guest, last time we ever talk about that. And now, 6 months since then, what it's become is being a true influencer, meaning that you can have peoples, or groups see their future in you, where they are saying yes to ecosystem merging, which is the process of two professionals working together so they can make more money in less time with more magic. This is not pretty words. This is not hyperbole. This is a fact. This is a science. This is a formula. And influence is a superpower. We have it and we can teach it. That's what's present here at Unblinded on May 6th, 2020.
And we have a group of insanely successful people today who clearly have the superpower of influence and are using it for good in the world. And these are straight up wild diversity, but incredibly talented people. So Vivian, who do we have today as our incredible participants?
Oh my God, we have the number one by his own choosing, Ron Klein. He's the industry disruptor known as the grandfather of possibilities, inventor of the magnetic strip on the credit card validity checking system, developer of computerized systems for real estate, MLS, multiple listing services, creator of voice response for the banking industry, developer of bond quotation and trade information for the New York Stock Exchange. And his latest patent is for a device that enables a visually impaired person the ability to identify an item when in physical range of that item.
Oh what? God. Ron, by the way, number one, dude, you created the MLS. Like, what? Like, number one. And number two, I don't know if you know this, but I'm blind. So thank you.
I don't know if you know this, but I'm blind.
Are you serious?
Sean, I have glaucoma. I have no vision in one eye and just partial vision in the other.
Yeah, that is
incredible. That's great.
Well, thank you for that incredible breakthrough.
And you know what? I'm not visually impaired.
Incredible. I am not confused. And the story is that you're blind, and it's not the story. So thanks for being here, Ron.
Thank you.
Yeah. And we have another remarkable person who, by the way, gets the heebie-jeebies and the hives every time he leaves Beverly Hills. Who we got, Vivian?
Mike Krupin. He has ranked among the top 1% of life insurance producers for the majority of his career, spanning over 40 years. His success through years results from his commitment to always represent the client, never the carrier, and to remain independent, consistent, trustworthy, flexible, and enthusiastic. Clients include the nation's leading A-list individuals in entertainment, sports, business, and healthcare, and has handled cases worth over 100 million.
Mike Krupin.
Thank you very much. This is my first Zoom call.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Hey, Mike. So you have like top 5 name athletes of all time, top 5 musical acts of all time overall, top 5 rock acts of all time, and that's like just and like hedge funds and everybody. You are an insane ecosystem merger and a person of integrity-based influence. So welcome aboard. It's an honor to have you. And by the way, could you do a quick moonwalk, Mike? Like, are you in position and like health and all this good stuff to throw a moonwalk at us at some point? Or
I've done the moonwalk.
yeah, you've done the moonwalk. I've seen you do the moonwalk at our Christmas party. So
At your Christmas party.
yes, and on stage in front of 1,600 people in New Jersey together. So you were rocking it out. So welcome, sir.
Well, I'm now in Richmond, Virginia. I'm waiting out the lockdown before I go back to Beverly Hills.
Okay.
Yes, sir. And listen, Mike Krupin, because we have we're playing a fun game, Mike, because you like games. Mike Krupin came from the mountains of West Virginia. Is that right, Mike?
Southwest Virginia.
Southwest Virginia, excuse me. Southwest Virginia. And Mike was broke, didn't know it, didn't have an internal shower, bathroom, right? Didn't have hot water. And
Nope.
Mike went from there to the mountains of Beverly, the hills of Beverly, and created this incredible business over time, being a great athlete, Division I scholarship player, and just has a remarkable story. So Mike, thank you for being here, brother.
Wow.
It's a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
Yeah. And our judges today, Vivian?
Oh my gosh, we have a very beautiful Deborah Gaylord. She's a motivational speaker that inspires women in business. And she's had many roles in life as a cheerleader, a dancer, a model, an actress, a TV host, and VJ, a mother, and a businesswoman. And in each of them, she has applied the same dedication and positivity to lead her to where she stands today. Member of the AALU Advances Association of Life Underwriters, the National Association of Insurance and Financial Advisors, and National Association of Life Underwriters.
Yeah. And Deborah, you've been a 7-figure earner as a woman in a very male-dominated industry. Am I right about that, my friend?
Yes, you're correct. And I have a quick question here, Sean. I'm wondering if this can be a little biased, being that I work with Mike.
Can you be honest and fair and incredible in the work that you do here, Deborah? Can you raise your right hand to God and say you'll be fair?
I will be fair.
All right, amazing.
This is going to be challenging for you. I've got to be fair.
I'm a good loser. I'm a great loser.
Amazing. So thank you, and Deborah. Listen, with Tony Robbins starting at 4:00 today,
Yes.
looking forward with connecting you on the Lions group. So fun stuff. So thank you.
Thank you for having me, everyone, and nice to meet everybody here.
Thank you. So and we have some other drop the mic folks. Vivian, who else is here?
Oh my gosh, we have Micah Lovett. He's a serial entrepreneur, co-founder of Baby Bathwater Institute, a community that helps bootstrapped entrepreneurs navigate the crazy world of business ownership while having good times and making lifelong friendships.
Yeah.
He started a publishing company in the psychology space that ended up being a 7-figure endeavor, parlayed that into a physician-based nutrition supplement company, Real Dose Nutrition, that ended up with annual revenues of $50 million before he sold out his stake.
Mike, how are you, my friend?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks. And you know what? Everybody, you know what my favorite thing about Mike is?
Uh-oh.
Is that Mike has joined as the latest person who said, you know what? I might think you're okay, but I also am concerned that you're completely full of shit, Sean. So I'm really excited to find out if you are or not. And I'm so honored that he's here because brother, Dan Geltrude, America's Accountant from Fox News, started out the same way. He's like, I don't know, man. I don't know this guy, Sean. I'm hearing all this stuff. And now Dan, favorite story is I used to think Sean was full of shit. And now I realize that whatever he says is gold. I am incredibly excited for your directness, your amazingness, the fact that you kick people out of your group that are not in integrity. And I'm really excited to demonstrate who we are. And I thank you for the opportunity, Mike.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm ready.
Yeah, awesome. So, and Vivian, certainly last but not least,
Chris Young, expert witness at Red Maple Economic and Strategic Consultants, major support in Caligie Law's most recent multi-million-dollar jury verdict, which was the top jury verdict of 2016 in Arizona and top 100 in the nation.
Well, Chris, you set yourself short, brother, because we have 2 top 100 national and jury verdicts together. And we were only one of 2 law firms that have 1.2 million in the country to do that between 2014 and 16. And you know what they had in common, Vivian?
What?
In both cases, the integrity-filled former military gentleman, Chris Young, was our economic damage expert. And I will tell you this, without Chris Young supporting us and coming up with the economic damage theory in that Arizona case, nothing would have ever happened. Integrity, breakthrough innovator. Chris Young, welcome, brother.
Thanks, Sean. Thank you for the nice comments.
Yeah. And Chris, let me ask you this. You've been around a lot of lawyers standing in the courtroom. We got Michael and some other folks that don't know who we are, what we're up to. How would you explain my ability to influence in front of a jury with integrity?
Is that to me, Sean?
Yes.
Oh, incredible. You have juries eating out of his hands. And that's for Sean clearly, and it's also for Michael Smikin.
Yeah.
Between the two of you, I haven't really seen many folks who can compete against you in the courtroom.
Well, I agree.
Listening, having the ability to listen, having the ability to pay close attention to every word that is being said by your adversary, and then to pick up on it and to debate, second to none.
No, thank you, brother. And listen,
Chris, that's
By the
good.
way, by the way,
I just sent him a retainer check today, so this is really good news.
that's awesome.
thank you, Mike Krupin. That is very amazing.
Hey, Sean, just a heads up. You guys were Trump this year. We just negotiated a transaction. I can't tell you all about it, but it was slightly over 100 million.
Is that right, brother? Well, we're gonna have to go find somebody who's been hurt and something screwed up and messed up
And figure it out. But yeah, we're excited. Thank you again.
No. And Chris, we're excited to do more with you. And there's nobody better in the world than Chris Young and doing it with integrity. So thanks, brother.
Thank you.
Yeah. So Vivian, here's what's up. And everybody, Mike and Ron, this is very interesting for me because you're both such unbelievably accomplished people in the world and in your individual spaces. Although Ron, you have multiple spaces, which is incredible. And so here's what we're doing at The Real Raw. We're demonstrating how influence works. And it's sort of unfair because most of us don't have mechanisms that we apply for 3 minutes to communicate with people, but you're so talented and so amazing. We're gonna demonstrate how to unlock those things with the two of you. Number one, we break this into 2 segments, a 3-minute segment and a 3-minute segment. And so for Mike and Ron and our incredible judges, the first segment is how you open up the listening of people, right? It's how you build rapport, you create, whatever that means to you. You're opening up the listening and you're accessing some relevant pain. You go, relevant pain for what? Whatever the yes is that you're seeking with integrity, Ron and Mike, and you get to set the stage in 1 moment, right? So that's round 1. You don't have to get a yes in round 1 because we're gonna call halftime and Vivian's gonna have to take a call. So it's like a 6-minute meeting broken into 2 sections for each of you guys. And she's gonna have to take a call, right? So we're gonna, then in the second round, it's gonna be about you demonstrating who you are to solve her pain and getting to a yes. So first section is open up listening. Second section is getting to yes. And I'm definitely behind the clock. So, because we have to have a hard stop at 3:58 today. So I'm going to ask the judges when it's your turn to go, if you could really keep it tight to like 20, 30 seconds of feedback on a positive, then a growth opportunity and go. So with that said, Mike Krupin, you, I believe, are further away being out. And well, actually, no, you're in Virginia today. And Ron, one more time, you're where physically today?
I'm in Sarasota, Florida.
Okay, wow. So that would make you further away.
Yes.
So as the away team, Ron, I have a 1 or a 2 under the table. What number do you think that it is?
2.
It is 2, Ron. So you get to pick if you want to go first or second in the first round. If you go first in the first round, you retain choice in the second round. Okay? If you go second in the first round, then it's Mike's choice in that second round. It's like flipping a coin in football, right? You're going to defer or not. So do you want to go first or second in round 1?
I'll go first. I'll go first in round 1.
You keep choice in round 2. So Ron, the question is, right? The question is, who do you want Vivian to be? You're seeking a yes. It could be a yes to buy your company. invest in your company, come to work for your company, to do a book deal with you, TV show with you. You're seeking a yes of some sort about whatever you want in the world, and you can make Vivian be anybody. What's the yes that you'd like to seek today?
I would like her to be the person to accept my product and say, absolutely, we're going to subscribe.
Fantastic. And what is like, and so who would she be then? She's a business person, business owner, or what is she?
She's a business owner who controls great distribution. And I'm going to explain to her why my product is absolutely the best thing that she would ever have in marketing.
Whoa, Ron, going for it. So remember, 3 minutes in the first side, right? And then you have 3 minutes after with a break in the middle. It's going to be a hard stop at 3 minutes. Do you have any other questions, Ron?
No.
Vivian, are you ready?
Ready.
Let's go real raw. 3 minutes and go.
Okay. Now I'm speaking to Vivian.
Yes.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Vivian, yes. Vivian, I've got something that's going to absolutely give you every possible innovative idea you can come up with in your business. Right now, I came up with a device that assisted the blind in a very simple way. It used QR codes, and it used a simple electronic leash, which I call the cell phone. And with that, we were able to identify anything that a blind person came in touch with just with their cell phone, pointing it at this little adhesive label. We've converted that into one of the leading marketing devices for the industry, of which you can adapt that to anything. It utilizes QR codes that can be placed in any area as to a gift to read that QR code, or an absolute benefit and reward if you read that, and it takes you where I want you to go. It does away with websites completely and allows you to take any content that you want in your business, videos, images, files, testimonials, and takes it there immediately. The innovation is it's applicable to any function you want. And that's what I'm offering today. It absolutely follows my theory of simplicity and saying that you've got to be smart, daring, and different to apply this function. And being smart means just use your innovative ideas to adapt what you can come up with, and don't be concerned with anything that's not perfect, because that is easily repairable. And the last thing, which is most important, it absolutely provides a benefit in your business. We'll help you with the application, but the innovation comes about with any use that you can think of. And it's a matter of having something that would do away with websites, doing away with any information that you ever applied. It's a device that takes you where I want you to go.
Well, it's very interesting. So right now it helps visually impaired people, from what I'm hearing, right?
Yes.
Be able to read and shop at grocery stores and everything, because it's a QR code. So basically they can do their banking and everything, and it's just paperless, and all they have to do is just point the cell phone, is what I'm guessing, to
Correct.
everything.
Correct.
So how would you like me to go ahead and distribute that for you? And why would you think we're a perfect fit together?
Because you're a distributor of product and items. And we feel that if you would catalog this item, the catalog would give complete description as to what it is that you would want to sell and say for this item. It's a way for you to tell your story with the ease of somebody just using their cell phone and scanning this QR code. And that QR code could be implemented and placed anywhere you see fit.
Okay, well, I'm going to have to go now, but I would love to learn more.
All right, we have time. So we'll pick up Ron. Excellent. So Ron, how are you feeling about round one?
I didn't understand totally what I was doing. And I came off not really presenting it the way I wanted to.
Okay, awesome. And thank you for your incredible candor, and we could talk about that in a moment. So thank you. So judges, we're going to enter the score. And Vivian, just a quick one sentence. How do you feel about your connection with Ron?
I felt compassion, and I felt like I had a lending ear.
Okay, cool. How pulled towards him did you feel?
On a scale of 1 to 10, I would say 7.
Okay, cool, awesome. So judges, let's give your scores and lock them in on round 1 of opening listening, accessing pain point. That was round 1. Let's lock our scores in. And we have Mr. Mike Krupin. Mike, how are you?
I am great.
So Mike, how do you survive when you leave Beverly Hills for more than like a week? Because we went to dinner and I asked you to go to Barton G's outside of Beverly Hills, and you had the hives and the heebie-jeebies, which is like what I like to say. So how are you surviving this far away from Beverly Hills for this long?
I've been here a month and it has not been easy. But I've been fortunate. I have 2 grandchildren, so I go bike riding every day.
No, that is extraordinary, Mike.
And this is the first day I got to put a coat on.
Yeah. And one of my favorite stories about Mike Krupin, and you can confirm this, is that Mike found his way to an affluent private school, prep school, out of a very poor high school, an incredible high school football career. They went undefeated, won the championship, and then Mike didn't have the grades to get on to college. So he went to prep school for a year, and he signed an IOU. And Mike, would you mind giving us, because we got a short window, but would you mind giving us like the 2-minute version of the IOU story? Because that's really fun.
So yes, my senior year in high school in Roanoke, Virginia, I had football scholarships to Virginia, Georgia, all these schools. But I grew up in a household where no one ever graduated from high school, so I never read a book. And unbeknownst to me, to get in college, you had to get, this is laughable, guys, but you had to get 800 on your SATs. They give you 400. So all I had to do was get 400. So I took the SATs and got 790. So I go, uh-oh. But I was very fortunate. The football coach said he knew the football coach at St. Christopher's Boarding School in Richmond, Virginia, the #1 all-boys school in the South. And he said he had me an interview tomorrow. And I said, okay. So I hitchhiked 180 miles. A Navy SEAL picked me up. I was very lucky. And he goes, Mike, you know where this place is? I go, no, sir. I've never been out of Roanoke. He stopped at a gas station, found the direction, dropped me off. First time in my life I've seen a manicured lawn, brick buildings, hardwood floors, crown moldings, library, and I'm meeting with the headmaster, the football coach, athletic director, and they go, we've heard a lot about you. We really think you belong here for postgraduate year and we can help you get in college, but you need to do one thing. I said, what's that? He goes, you got to write an essay to get in. I said, oh, Vivian, I'm in deep trouble here, dear. And I got to write an essay. When I couldn't even get 800 on my college boards. So I wrote an essay about the only subject I knew, which was football. Gave it to them. They came back about 10 minutes later and they go, Mr. Krupin, we must tell you that's the worst written composition we have ever read. That being said, we feel that if we don't accept you, you're never getting college. I go, excuse me, does that mean I'm in? And they go, yes, sir. Football coach says football practice starts Monday. The headmaster says tuition's $1,200, Mr. Krupin. This was 1965. I go, yes, sir, but I just don't have $1,200. He goes, we know that. We just want you to sign a promissory note. Now I'm 17 years old, and I go, what's a promissory note? And they go, that's when you're promised to pay us back. I said, okay, when do I pay you back? They said, whenever you can. So I signed a promissory note, and I left, hitchhiked back 180 miles, told my mother I was leaving, I got accepted, and I'm never coming home again. I repaid the promissory note when I gave them a $1 million donation for a new gymnasium.
Boom. Mike Krupin, ladies and gentlemen. Mike Krupin, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, brother. You are amazing. Who would you like Vivian to be today? So you can go from hello to yes about something, Mike.
I would like Vivian to be a referral from my numerous referral sources, which are business managers, estate planning attorneys, Northern Trust. So Vivian, you are a referral from Northern Trust. And the gentleman is Paul Lee, who's the worldwide global strategist for Northern Trust. And he's asked me to come in and meet with you to talk to you about the greatest financial instrument ever invented by mankind. And as Forbes magazine has described it, it is the last great tax shelter left in America.
Boom.
So,
Mike, and how much is she? She's a wealthy person, or what's her what's her setup?
Well, basically, we're talking about estate planning here.
Okay.
So we're talking about a financial instrument that 90% of the population, and I'm including bankers, CPA.
Well, you're going to give me once. I apologize for interrupting, Mike.
Yeah.
You're going to go on the clock in a moment. What is Vivian? How much money does Vivian have? Like, what's her net worth and her income? Just net worth and income.
Are we just making this net worth up?
Yes, sir.
If she's referred by Northern Trust, her net worth is in the 20 to 50 million range or higher.
Great. Okay. And income would be in the millions, correct?
Yeah, in the millions.
Okay. Vivian, are you ready?
I think so.
All right. So Mike, Vivian, 3 minutes, or say hi, Mike, and take it from there, Vivian.
Hi, Vivian.
Well, hi, Mike.
It's a pleasure meeting you. And I'm looking forward to really meeting you in person. But we're going to do our best here on this Zoom. So Vivian, if I could tell you about a financial instrument that once you purchase it, it has significant tax advantages and is completely different than stocks, bonds, mutual funds, or real estate, because it has the following characteristics that most people never knew that it had. Forbes magazine has described this financial instrument as the last great tax shelter in America. And it works something like this. If this financial instrument, once you purchase it, it's guaranteed. Any money that you put into this financial instrument, which is the principal, is guaranteed. The rate of return that the insurance company pays you on the money that you put in is probably in today's market between 5 and 6%, but it's tax-free. Secondly, the money grows income tax-free. And most importantly, you have access to this money later in your life on an income tax-free basis. So you have safety of principal, tax-free interest, tax-free growth, and tax-free withdrawals. And the moment you purchase it, you create wealth. If you bought a $10 million, $20 million, $50 million policy, that's what you've created. And if you deposit money into it, the death benefit increases each and every year by the amount of money that you put into it.
Wow, Mike, that sounds so good to be true almost. I have to take a call in about a minute, but I'm fascinated. Tell me more.
Well, everybody says the same thing that you say, because no one actually explains it like this. But the key to it is structure. And it's called the art of underwriting, which I'll get into when we come back again, because this is why JP Morgan, Northern Trust, US banks, lawyers call Krupin partners, because of our relationships with the chief underwriters who do the pricing of life insurance. And Northern Trust likes to finance the premiums for you, Vivian. So you're like this. They will pay the premiums for you And as of today's rate, because of what's going on, they're going to charge you 2% interest on your deposits.
I think we're going to have to take this conversation up again in a little bit.
Vivian's going to grab her call mic, and then we're going to pick it up again in a moment.
All right.
So excellent mic Krupin, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you. So let's kick it to the judges. And what we're going to do is go a little bit of feedback on the positive side for a couple sentences, a little feedback on what could be a growth opportunity for these remarkable men, Mike and Ron, and then a score. So let's kick it off with Chris Young. Chris, what do you got for Ron and Mike? Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, well, again, both of them very good. Let's start with Ron. It was a little long for me personally. I thought it was really good. A lot of details. Obviously, you've been doing this for a good portion of your career, and it clearly comes across. It was a little long for me to pay attention, but what I found from you, Ron, was I felt very trustworthy of you. Like as you were speaking, I was very confident that I wasn't being sold a product just for the sake of the sale, right? So that was very important to me. With Mike, multiple things come across. One, your smile is infectious, right? So you get to see that, you feel it, and to me it was that was wonderful. I liked very early in the pitch that you were bringing in aspects of your discussion that would make me get excited, such as the Forbes article, and so many different aspects of the beginning of your talk got me excited. Towards the end, similarly, I thought both of them been a little bit less in time, maybe. But then again, that's coming from a novice. I'm not a professional like you folks, but I thought both of them were a little bit long for me.
So what do you have for scores, Chris?
I would go with a score of a 5. Let's call it a 6 and a 9. 6 for Ron and a 8.5 to 9 for Mike. You
got to pick it, 8.5 or 9. Which is it?
I'll go with a 9. All
right, very nice work. Thank you, Chris Young. Michael, what is present for you, sir?
Let's start with Ron. It started out, I think, well, not really a lot of engagement. I was intrigued by the, technology for the blind, that kind of maybe my imagination, like, oh, wow, this is cool. And I was thinking it was going to go, strong enough for a blind person, but now we've taken this amazing technology for a blind person and made it useful for everybody. And that got me interested. And then after that, I found it just got really confusing. So I found that I was confused, didn't really see a lot of, it just kind of meandered to me. So I liked the beginning, hey, this technology for the blind could be used for marketing. Being somebody who knows web marketing and things, QR codes, I know about them, it seemed hyperbolic. So I kept wanting, I think there could have been a lot more like, you might think this, and maybe I would have asked a lot more questions for her as opposed to just rambling on. It just seemed like a data dump. And also from somebody from that world, it didn't seem believable at all. And I just wanted to stop and ask questions in the middle. So it just seemed like a lot of information that was unclear what exactly, I still don't know what it is. So it replaces the web, it replaces all marketing, just with your cell phone and the QR code that was used for the blind. You can imagine it. So I'd say strong on the curiosity, but everything else, no, I wouldn't believe it. And I don't know if but a conversation that could have happened.
I'm seeing a future Simon Cowell in the Real Raw role play, potentially.
Sorry, I'm not trying to be,
Thank you.
So, but yeah, intriguing. Yeah, but after that, no.
Okay.
That's where I'd go. And then I guess for Mike, but yeah, and also I think there's a great angle he could be using with this. I would do a whole intriguing thing on this because it is intriguing. Ron, I thought it was good at the beginning. He actually engaged, so he tried to create some rapport. So it was definitely made it to a friendly vibe. Did a good job at the friendliness thing, right? And then it started off, if I could interest you, that like every sales guy in the world's done. So I think there's a salesman trigger there. If I could show you blah blah blah, would you blah blah blah? Kind of get that pre-commitment kind of thing. That's so a little tired. I think most people are onto that. So I think that would, that gave me like a, no, I'm about to be taken in on this thing. So I thought it was friendly, but overall, again, it was confusing. And then it got really, really detailed. So I think the chunk level was way too intricate. I think that chunk level could have been way higher, just 3 of the benefits, like 3 things, because you're just starting the conversation. You're not trying to sell them yet. So I think both a little bit explain too much detail instead of just opening it up and getting intrigue. So that's my feedback on that one as well.
Awesome, Michael. And scores?
I do 4 for Ron, 5 for Mike.
All right. Thank you, Michael. And Deborah, what do you got?
Well, I'm going to cut to the chase because I come from that entertainment world background. So here's my positive feedback first for both. Both of you are genius at knowing what you do. So you both came from the place of, I'm an expert at what I do. I totally understand what Ron does, and I totally understand what Mike does. Now I'm going to cut to what I would have liked to have seen more from both of you is, hey, Vivian, how are you doing during this time? What's going on with you in your life? Oh yeah, really? And find something about Vivian that you could relate to, and then piggyback off that into what you want to talk about. I would have been less about what your expertise is and more about the rapport you could have had with Vivian. I would have loved to have seen a lot more of that from both of you. And then, you know, as far as sales go, it's kind of like, really the first sale you want to make is not the thing that you're the expert about, but yourself. Like you want to make her your best friend. So I gave Ron a 5 and Mike a 7.
All right.
And I gave Mike a 7 because he had a little more energy, and I'm all about energy. Awesome. I kind of drifted off a little bit with Ron, but that's why it came down a little bit.
Oh, amazing. And it's very tough to do in a 3-minute segment. So fantastic feedback, judges. Loved it. Loved the directness. And we're going to get ready for round 2. But Vivian, in service of, you know, everybody out there, let's try something a little bit and go with what Deborah's talking about. Vivian, you ready?
Yes.
Okay. So ring, ring. Hey, Vivian, thanks so much for seeing me today.
Nice to see you today.
Yeah. And I know you only have about 6 minutes. I'm going to take a call in 3.
Yep.
Yeah. Awesome. So Vivian, I know you distribute products of all kinds and sorts. Can I just ask you, how'd you get into all this?
Well, my parents own businesses, and, you know, it's in our blood. So we've been doing it forever and for generations. So it's been something that I love to do.
Yeah. And what brought them into the business?
Well, they came here as immigrants from Spain, and they started selling anywhere from clothing to creating, you know, dinnerware, and it just all morphed into different household products. And then, you know, we grew that. And then I went to college, and then I started to find interest in just innovation. So I started to branch out.
Yeah. I know we got a short time, but did you grow up, like what were your sort of growing up years, or your parents' growing up years as they came as immigrants? Did they have money, not have money? Like how'd they create this?
They created everything from the ground up. So we pride ourselves in all the hard work.
No, remarkable. Hey, thank you for sharing. I acknowledge you guys as immigrants to this country, building such an incredibly successful business, and your pride rings through, humility rings through, but your pride does as well. So thanks for sharing that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, so if you can go, like, have this go all your way and everything you want from this business occurs, where are you taking this entire distributorship?
We are planning to go global. We're going to go to Italy, and we're going to go to Spain, and we're going to go, you know, to China and everywhere we can think of right now. We have some digs in Southeast Asia right now.
Cool. And why? Like, what drives you? You get like chill, relax. Obviously things have gone great. Why do you keep going?
I keep going because it's important to be able to give back. And right now I'm doing a lot of philanthropy to help students that want to help themselves, but that don't have the means to do so or the education to definitely bump up. So I contribute a lot to scholarships.
Yeah. Final question. I know you got to take the call. So biggest challenges right now in getting this global, like this vision globally in place, biggest challenges?
Finding out what becomes relevant now in this era where people are now not thinking about all of the fancy gadgets or some of the products and services that we offer.
Cool. Listen, I'll let you take that call. Is it okay if I share a little bit about myself when we come back from the break?
Please.
Thank you. Deborah, what's present for you with that?
Oh, I can't hear you.
Deborah, you're on mute or no?
Myself on mute. Sorry about that. So yeah, that's for me, that feels right. That feels like you're really engaged in who you're trying to make your client, and you're trying to find out what her needs are and how you can best serve her and add value to what she's doing.
Right. Michael.
And I feel that's what's coming.
Yeah. Michael, I know you're super like sales aware and sales sensitive. How did that feel for you?
Felt a lot, yeah. Felt really good.
Okay, cool.
Just open them up.
Yeah,
you're making sure you're not going to waste their time, and it was nice.
Yeah, cool. I like it. Thank you, because I'm super dialed into your like Simon. It's awesome. Thank you. And by the way, for everybody, just genuinely, I want to build a relationship with Michael. Like that's one of my outcomes for today on the show. So I matched and mirrored his tone and pacing as I communicated with Vivian. Like that was real because it's authentic. I know what we can do, but I know Michael's got limited time. I have a limited window. So I'm going to do all the things I can to effectively demonstrate. I social proof with Chris Young. I think it would demonstrate, listen, this guy's Chris Young, I'll look him up. He's very established, super economic damages expert, and he has 2 top 100 verdicts with me. He shared his reality publicly of what he's seen me do. All of these dynamics are when we talk about how do you create influence with integrity, what we're saying is, how do you help people see what they're not seeing? Because everybody today is very appropriately on guard, especially somebody like Michael, because everybody claims a million things that are total nonsense. So how do you prove it to somebody like that? Like that's what this work is truly rooted in. And I really, again, appreciate him being here. So round 2, Ron, you have choice in round 2. You can go first or second. What are you going to do?
I'll go second.
Okay. And so Ron, you are free. I'm sorry, Mike Krupin. Mike, it's your 3 minutes. You could do with it whatever you want, sir. The grading in this second round, the point scoring is rooted in how do you share who you are? Simply put, how does Vivian trust and see her future in saying yes to you? It's getting to the yes, firm yes, for her to do whatever the next action is. It doesn't have to be buying your services. It could be for a longer meeting, could be whatever, but you going to your yes. You ready, Mike?
I think so.
All right. It's like being on listen, one of Mike's dear friends is on the president of Augusta Golf Club. Mike, you have 2 more shots to par and you got 3 minutes and you are a champ, brother. So you ready to go?
I'm ready.
All right. Vivian, take us in.
Oh, hi, Mike.
Hi, Vivian. How are you?
I'm great.
I liked your story.
Yeah?
I did. It was very much so. If there's any way that I can be of any assistance, and the only one field that I know, Vivian, which is insurance, I'd be more than happy to assist you or your financial advisors in anything that we can assist you with. There are about 50 insurance companies that specialize in estate planning and high net worth, but the key to insurance is the art of underwriting. And basically what that is that we have to organize the medical records, the physical, the EKG, the blood profile in such a way that we get the underwriters to issue you a medical classification, which determines the pricing. But just looking at you, I can already tell you're super preferred. 90% of the products are, standard non-tobacco. Our job is to move it to preferred, which is a 28% discount on pricing. If we move it to super preferred, it's a 36% discount on pricing. And most people do not realize this. And so our goal with every client that we work with, no matter how small or how big, is convincing the underwriters to getting our clients the best medical classification, which increases the value of the product.
Mike, I'm going to have to go in about a minute, but Can you help me exactly?
Well, if there's a need for insurance in your portfolio, then our job is to find out what the need is and how we can improve if you already have something, or how we can install something that will preserve the wealth when you pass away, or preserve your legacy, or make sure there's liquidity that comes immediately in case something happens to you, and free of tax.
That sounds appealing.
Mike Krupin, ladies and gentlemen. Excellent, Mike. So here's a quick thought. With influence, you can have so much. We have 4 steps, 10 indispensable elements, and 4 energies of influence. And you can have so many of the indispensable elements and the energetic transference and conveyance that your mechanism can get you there, even if, as Deborah said, you're not as engaged with the person. I think Mike Krupin is one of the greatest salespeople in America. And Mike, I think, has done that because of his incredible fun energy, his energetic shifts and variance, and his presentation is so irresistible, and he's so eloquent and so highly functioning in it that if Mike doesn't go as deep in getting to know the person, my hallucination is like a hitter in baseball who doesn't have mechanically the right and best approach can get away with it because they have so much physical talent. Mike has so much energetic transference and he's so engaging that Mike can get away with maybe not going as deep into who Vivian is. So that's my hallucination with Mike. And Mike, you, brother, listen, you have, I am your client and Deborah's client because you blew my mind. So Mike, again, you're amazing. And thank you for being here, brother.
Thank you. It's very challenging right now in the insurance industry, as every reinsurer and every major insurance company will no longer underwrite insurance on any individual 70 or over.
Wow.
At this point in time.
God, Mike, I didn't know that. Holy.
They say temporary. We don't know exactly what that means. So, like, I've got 3 cases in underwriting. They're all in their late 70s. And I'm telling the chief underwriter, you got to do this because of all the business I've given you over 50 years, because when this passes, you may not get that business in the future. But it's very difficult right now for the 17-year-old market in the life insurance industry.
Wow. And we'll talk more about that, Mike. I was unaware, but there's a lot of thoughts I have. So thank you, sir. Judges, let's lock in our scores. And Ron, are you ready for round 2?
Yes.
All right. Let's head on in, Vivian.
Okay. Hello, Ron.
Hi, Gloria. I'm sorry. I mean, Vivian. I was thinking of Gloria.
Vivian, Gloria. It's all good.
Sorry. Hi, Vivian. I was delighted. Last time we met, I was so delighted to meet you, but I think I'm so excited with our service and our product line and the innovation that it could bring about. I've got a feeling that I was just a little bit too technical. So what I really want to talk about is listening to you and how we can benefit your company with all of the things it could do for you, the service that it could do for you. And my mantra is really simplicity. So I really like to get into conversation as to what are some of the pain points in the business and how can we be a little innovative to solve those things. And I'm perfectly willing to do that on a test basis. How does that sound to you?
Sounds really good. Sounds like a win, like a win-win.
Well, how much time do you think we could spend on the end result that you'd like to see with your distribution service?
You customarily spend about an hour. We'll have lunch. It'll be more informal so that I get to fall in love with your idea, because what you have sounds lovely. So I want to see how many applications, how the phone works. Because right now, the only thing I'm thinking about is like how I use my phone as Apple Pay. And so I'd like to see what other ways in which your technology, which is amazing, can benefit everyone.
Well, it could really benefit your buyers and your consumers. And it's a matter of what you really want to tell these folks. And I think if we put together some kind of sample beta test for you and try it out, you might be very, very pleased with it. Is there anything else that you'd like to talk about now prior to our meeting?
I guess I just want to know a little bit more about you and what inspires you to do what you do.
What inspires me is to provide benefits. I want to make a difference. I'm not necessarily, and my company is not necessarily an inventive company. We're inspirers and we're innovators that we make things better. And that's basically what I'm doing. Sometimes those things that we make better end up being brand new inventions, but I really want to provide benefits for you. And that's the key.
Nice. Thank you, Ron. Excellent. Ron, how'd you feel about that round?
Felt a little bit better. I'm starting to learn a little bit as to what you're looking for.
Yeah, no, listen, obviously you're an incredibly successful genius, and this is a challenging and new format. And thank you so much for being here and doing a great job. And being
Thanks for the invitation.
Yeah,
thank you.
So, Michael, in terms of judging and scoring, what do you got, my friend?
Start with Mike, and I like the way that there's more rapport at the beginning. So there's a conversation going on. But then again, it kind of the same thing before, never really asked what she wanted. I mean, so what was her goal? Didn't have any idea. And then some of the credibility was there. I know the goal was to tell more about yourself, and there's a little bit there, but it didn't really get to the soul of what he does. So it could have been really more simple, like on the insurance. It could have been much more defined, and I would have told a story about somebody else in their situation and how they've helped, as opposed to say how much integrity they have or what they do. I'd have used a story about somebody in their situation that represented the company's value so they could learn more about his company by a story. And then Ron, I think more engaging there. I saw you were attempting to get, so again, I'll get this square that. And then I thought you were attempting to get to know more about her, and she gave you some good answers. You went for the close of like, let's do a beta before she even knew what it really was. So there was no clarity on what it was or what you really could do for her customers. It's very general to me. So I don't know. It seemed like it wasn't there yet. I mean, I know this is hard, but to me, like watching it, it wouldn't have led to a meeting of let's do a beta program at all. If I was a distributor. So I would go 3 and 3. I don't know. I mean, I would have got off the phone. I would have gotten out of the meeting in both of those probably pretty quickly.
All right,
or I would have just asked or I would have said, what do you want? I mean, I just would have said, hey, what are you trying to get? Let's get to it.
All right. Michael, and you are truly wonderfully direct, and appreciate the feedback enormously. This is awesome. Thank you.
Very perceptive.
Yeah. And Deborah, what do you got?
Well, I would.
We're running a little tight, so if we could keep it to like, you don't mind, like.
I'll be quick. Ron, big change for Ron. I felt your heart this time. I felt your heart. And I could actually understand you a lot better on the second round. So I moved you from a 5 to a 7. Awesome. Mike Krupin, you kept on with the expertise of insurance. I really wanted you to find out about Vivian and find out what she was all about, even though the what do you call it, what Sean's guidance was to talk about yourself. I would have talked more about like, Mike, you have such great stories in the insurance world, like stories that can go in a book, and I would have loved to have heard one of those. So I just kept you right where you are. So I gave them both a 7 for the second round.
And I had the privilege and honor of seeing some of the insanity. We were out to dinner with Mike and Deborah, and all of a sudden Wolfgang Puck's coming over to the table, like hugging Mike Krupin, going, Mike, I've never met a person who in a city has everybody know him like Mike Krupin. I've never, maintenance workers in the street knew Mike Krupin. So I just want to tell everybody, from Mike and Ron, these are remarkable people. It's a tough job in the 3 minutes each. So, tough job. But I've experienced and witnessed Mike Krupin. True story. We're lost in Beverly Hills, and can't find where we're going. And all of a sudden we see somebody who's working the street, and we go, hey, do you know this building? The guy's like, no. Do you know this building? No. He's dressed. He had broken English. And then he said, who are you looking for? I'm like, how's this guy gonna know what we're looking for? It's crazy. Like, we have no idea where we are. It's a giant city. We go looking for Mike Krupin. He goes, oh, Mr. Krupin takes us down the basement, out a back door, true story, down in the alleyway, across the street, into the building, to the elevator, presses the 4th floor button and goes, 4th floor, Krupin Partners. I've never seen it like that. True Mike Krupin story. So, Chris Young, take us home, brother. What do you got?
Yeah, quick one. Ron, I thought that was much better. I felt as though you built rapport with Vivian, and that was a major change from the first go at it. With Mike, I thought the first one was better. I felt more sincerity in the first one, or the first pitch. The second one, I agree with Deborah. I would have loved to hear more about building a rapport with Vivian. And like Michael Lovich said, I didn't really get either of you asked what was the ask, right? I don't think either of you, maybe I missed it, but I don't think either of you asked for the sale. But that's my basic feedback. I think for Ron Klein, you would have gone up to about a 7, and I would have had Mike Krupin go down to about a 6 or a 7.
Cool. Thank you, Chris Young. Michael Lovich, how was your experience today in the Real Raw, brother?
It was fun. I mean, I'm glad I'm not up there being judged. So being a judge is always fun. And, I've seen it's hard to do this stuff on the fly, especially over Zoom. So I had fun in my position, so I didn't have to get up there and embarrass myself.
That's hard.
So I thought it was a blast.
It's an excellent learning experience.
Yeah.
It's a whole different world.
It's scary.
No,
I mean, so yeah, I'm
fabulous. That's a really hard exercise.
Well, what this did for me is it taught me a whole new approach as to what you're looking for.
Yeah.
So I had no concept of no understanding at all as to what kind of result I was to get. Now I understand. I know how to sell, but it's selling in a much different way.
Yeah.
I thought I just had to get my information across fast.
Yeah, Michael, any final comment? Real quick, Michael Lovich, any final?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, I was saying because you were just wrapping up a comment, so I just want to give you the.
I said I love it. I have to get to another meeting, but I really appreciate being on this.
Thank you, brother. We'll see you.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mike,
Bye-bye.
Krupin, Ron, Deborah, Michael, Chris, amazing. Thank you. Open vulnerable.
Thank you.
Want to have Mike
everybody.
Krupin
Thank
and
you.
Ron. Want to have you guys back. Vivian, thank you. Have a beautiful day. See you soon. Deborah, we'll see you with Tony Robbins. Thanks.